Hi, thank you for joining me. You are all greatly appreciated. I hope you are having a great day. I have another message. This message is pertaining to what God's been talking to us about preparing and planning. In the last message, I talked about Jericho and the Battle of Jericho, and I was guided right back to um, that same scripture now with Joshua. Um, Okay, let me talk about this before I forget. Okay, so the other day I was on my front porch, just out, watching, um, just out hanging out, getting some sun, being out in nature. And I noticed a squirrel just across the street by my neighbor's house under their truck. And there's not a lot of squirrels in my neighborhood. I live in a subdivision. And to be honest, I could never tell you if I've ever seen one in my area. I've seen like rabbits and stuff and other little animals, but not squirrels. So I was like, oh, this has some meaning to this. And I was like, okay, let me look up, what squirrels mean. And you guys, okay, so squirrels are about preparing and planning. And God's been talking to us, you guys. He's been talking to us about preparing and planning. Man, and He has been very insistent that we please do these things. Okay, and if you know, I've told you guys while I was away, God had me like just organizing and preparing, organizing things and getting rid of stuff. And sometimes I felt like I was going in circles because it was stuff that I had felt that God had already had me clean out. But when I went back, there was still some stuff I needed to get rid of. And so I was just getting rid of things, throwing things, donating things, organizing things, ordering supplies. Like I got a lot of household supplies. God had me grocery shopping. I must have went to the bulk warehouses in my area. There's two of them. I must have went to them at least 2 or 3 times during this time, stocking up on my pet food and just things of this nature. God had me going back and handling some bills and things that I had ignored. Also, I wanted to talk about this in another video, but I had to talk about it now. My pets. I've talked about that my daughter and I have a cat each, and I kept putting off. Okay, I needed to get him neutered, and I kept forgetting and putting it on the back burner. And God had me get those pets neutered, and let me tell you guys, that's a lot of work. When you bring them home, they're going to be like laid out and chilled out. Oh, they were so not happy because I have two. Well, my daughter has one, and I have one, and so we had to separate them. So luckily, I had an extra crate, so I had to put one in the crate because you're supposed to also not have them around each other, I guess, to prevent them from scratching and licking each other's wounds. And then you don't want them to be doing too much movement. You want to try to limit their movement within reason as much as possible. And our cats are crazy. They have, they use the stairs as the cat highway. So we had to not allow them to do that. And it's for 7 to 10 days until the incision or surgery site heals. And so that has been a lot of work. That was another thing that was keeping me super busy on top of all the things that God had me doing, because I had one in a crate, and then I had one in a base camp, the laundry room, and the one that jumps not as much was in the laundry room because of course I can't move my washer and dryer, right? But my cat is a jumper, and so he was in the crate, and it was just a lot of work. These are just some recommendations just to help you in case you do have cats or even any pet that you are getting neutered or spayed. I have male cats. We have male cats. And so I removed the litter to help prevent infection. So we use newspaper and, like pee pads. Oh, that made the work so much harder because my cats are very finicky too. They're so spoiled in particular. But anyways, the craziest thing, so one didn't ever really get it. Mine didn't really, he only peed in because I removed the litter and I just used the bottom of the litter box because it has a cover too, but I just used the bottom so the cat's not jumping in and out of the litter box, and just use the bottom to prevent as much movement as possible. And He only peed in it a couple of times, but it was so funny because they did not like the poop. They would wrap the poop because they did not like the smell. They are so finicky. So that was like a lot of extra work because I'm constantly doing that. Was constantly, cleaning up that mess between two because I had it times two. Because my daughter works and she's young, young adult. And so that was a lot of work. She helped when she was around, but. And then the water, I couldn't leave the water in there because you're not really supposed to them to get wet. And my cats kept spilling the water. So I had to keep going in there and offering water I would try to do it like every 1 to 2 hours and see if they would drink water. And I would recommend if your cats are one of those cats that do not like to drink water, or don't drink as much water as they should. I pour a little water in their food. I don't drench it, but just a little water in their food to kind of add some moisture to it, in hopes that that will help. Because I have one that drinks enough, but then the other one, mine, once again, he doesn't drink as much as he should. And so I'll just touch both their waters off, their food off with a little water. And I don't just feed kibble because my cats do love kibble. I give kibble, but I always mix it with cans for moisture and stuff. And my cats are so particular about the can. I got this can while God had me out, like stocking up on cat food and household supplies and food for the house and stuff. And tried a different can while I was at one of the bulk stores. It was like pate. My cats do not like pate. They like the shreds and that type of cat food. Oh, they did not eat it for 2 days, you guys. They literally refused to eat it. 2 days. Finally, I had to go out and get their other food that they like. Their shreds and stuff, the meaty kind. Woo! And yeah, so I was like in and out on the go, and I try to limit. When I'm out, I try to get as much as possible, so I reduce my carbon footprint and things of this matter. And so try to be budget friendly and not, waste gas, and try to handle all my business while I'm out and try to make lists and try to get everything, but that just wasn't working this time around. And so what's another thing I wanted to bring up? So yeah, you may want to remove the cat litter to help reduce, I guess if the cat litter does get in, it can cause an infection, which is not good for you, your cat, or your pockets, to try to limit having to go back to the vet for any concerns. And then, yeah, add a little water. If your cats aren't drinking as much water, or you feel like they're dehydrated, or the vet says they're dehydrated, add a little water to their food, especially if you feed just kibble. That might help. And then what's another thing I wanted to bring up that I thought might help people? Oh, there was one more. Anyways, maybe it'll come to me. And I feed them like probiotics and stuff to try to help with their gut health, my dog and my cats. So that was another thing that I had kind of been putting on the back burner that God had kind of brought to my attention, like, okay, you need to do this. Because, of course, I don't want to. My cats are only indoors, but you just never know. They could get out, but my cats are only indoors. Only time we take them out is we have them in like a cat backpack or a carrier when we take them to the vet sometimes. But I've been using my cat backpack because it's so perfect. You can have your hands free and you can still run errands with your pet and pay bills, and your hands are free, and grocery shop, and it's not as heavy. The carrier's like, on your, it's not as heavy. It just, oh, and people loved it when I took my cat out because I had to get his booster shot after he was due for a booster shot. And oh, when I took them out, people were like, oh, I love it. I want one for my cat. My cat would love that, this and that. So yeah, it's an idea. And let's see what else. Yeah, I give my cat and my dogs pre and probiotics because just to help with their gut health, because I was reading something about some of the foods, and what they were saying that actually is in some of the foods was like, oh my goodness, and not just like cornmeal or whatever, but like what I read, don't take my word for it, but what I read, they were saying some of the lower grade foods are like actual other pets that have passed on or been put down and stuff. Can you imagine that? They're eating their own breeds and stuff. So I did upgrade my food affordably, but I went to like the next level and was reading The ingredients on some of them, one of them I got that I'm going to try for my dog, and he's not as finicky. He eats everything, not too many vegetables, and there's, of course, certain foods and vegetables you're not supposed to feed your pet anyway, but he's not too picky. He pretty much eats everything. But there was a chicken and rice one that I got from one of the bulk stores that I went to, and then I tried another upgraded version of what I was buying because it said it's supposed to be a little bit healthier and the ingredients looked little bit better. So I bought like several bags of dog food because I usually buy a bunch of bags of dog food. Like I have this still can system in my backyard so the mice can't get in them, and I have 3 of them, and I fill those and rotate them, you know, and you know, my dog loves moist and meaty too, and he loves canned. I feed him canned. So like I'll do dry and then do like half a packet of moist and meaty one day, and then the next day I do dry and a half a can, and then the next day I'll just do dry, or the next day I'll just do dry and some table scraps, you know, and rotate it so that, you know, he gets a variety of food. And like my cats, the variety flavors, I rotate them. I don't just feed them like all the chicken or all the turkey. You know, I'll do a little rotation, turkey, chicken, I don't know, turkey and cheese giblets or whatever the variety is, and I rotate them. And then once in a while, my cats love their little packets of delectables, and they're, you know, just a little tasty treat, and I'll mix that in once in a while just to give them a variety, you know, so that they're not like eating the same thing all the time. And I hear that it's good to get your cats to eat different foods if possible, so that if anything ever does happen, that they don't starve themselves to death, because cats are known to starve themselves to death. And mine did not eat. They refused to eat for 2 days when I got, and I had bulked up on that pate, and I wanted to try something different for them. They didn't like that. They didn't want to eat for 2 days, and I kept trying to entice them, and finally I just took it back, and I had to go buy them some more food. But I had only used like 2 cans from it because they weren't for it anyway. And I had the kibble in the meantime too, which I just topped off a little water with. But they were not, they refused, outright refused. I just thought that was so funny. And okay, I know there was something else I wanted to talk about with the neutering to help people, because I wish that, oh, e-collar, thank you. E-collar, please. E-collar is a must to prevent your cat from licking, and irritating and infecting the wound site or the surgery site. E-collar. I thought my vet was going to send me home with one, but by the time we got home, it was later from the pickup and rush hour traffic and this and that. And then later that night, of course, once the pet store was closed, I noticed that my cats were licking a lot, and I was like, I knew there was something that I wanted to ask the vet to buy from the site so I could bring it home, and they were just so busy that through the process we just forgot. And then so the next morning I went and got them each an e-collar, and yes, world saver. And so they're finally had their 7 to 10 day period, and their wound sites have fully healed, and so I could take the e-collars off and let them, didn't have to separate them anymore, because man, that made the work extra, having to feed two, separated, you know, I had to be there with them to help them with the food, so I could either take off the e-collar while they ate, or help them with the positioning of the bowls to make sure that they were getting their nutrients, because I didn't want to leave the e-collar off, because then they were like starting to lick right away, so I didn't want to do that. And so it was like I had to go between the two and feed one and give one water and let that one finish and then go up. So it was just very time consuming. So anyways, just some tips that may help. Please get an e-collar to help prevent licking and irritation or infection to the wound site. If you have cats, you may want to remove the litter, use pee pads or newspaper. Some people do that already, but it was a lot more work. I thought I would like doing that because I thought, oh, the kitty litter won't be all over. No, that was just, it was constant work, and one got it and one did it, and I was just like, forget it. Maybe over time, if they both got it, it would be better in some ways, but they were too finicky. They didn't like it. They both were like wrapping their poop up in it because they were like, this stinks. They were in a small area. They were not feeling it. One even went up, I'm not joking, you guys, this is for my daughter's a witness because she's the one who walked on it. My daughter's cat we had a little section where we had all the supplies, like the pee pads, the newspapers, gloves, paper towels, and Clorox wipes. And the cat went up, you guys, and got gloves, 2 gloves at that, a pee pad, newspaper, and a bag to dispose it in, because we had all that together. Can you believe that? And I wasn't the one who walked in on it. My daughter did. And then the next day when I went in, the cat had gotten some supplies and wrapped up his poop again. This was my daughter's cat who did that. My cat couldn't do it because he was in a like an indoor, crate. So, but yeah, can you believe that, you guys? I know it's hard to believe, but I promise you, it happened. I told my daughter, I wish you would have took a picture of that so we had proof, because it's crazy to think how smart pets are and how much they pay attention to you. Goodness. Okay. So sorry, getting back to the message, I just thought I'd share that. And that's why I've been so busy. That's taken up a lot of time and all the organizing. And God's having me stock up on food and groceries and household supplies. And I've been cleaning the yard, organizing closet sheds, garages, handling bills, taking care of the pets and handling those things that I had put off and that I needed to do. And my pets were up to date on their shots, so nothing like that. But they were coming up on their yearly shots, and it was a little bit early, but the vet's like, while you're here doing the spade and neutering and the cats are going through all this anyway, and we got the microchip too, you might as well just go ahead and do their shots. It's only a couple months early, and you that way everything's just done. I was like, yeah. So that's what I've been up to. It's been very busy, very busy. Okay, so yeah, I saw the squirrel and I was like, this has something to do with a message. God's giving me a message in some way, shape, or form. So I looked up, about squirrels, and it was saying, squirrels prepare during the fall so that they can survive through the winter months. Preparation and planning. And it's like they plan for, the winter months ahead of them. And then I was looking into other things I was guided to go to, and it was like the messages that I was getting is like God's having us prepare and plan for challenges and opportunities that lie ahead of us, you guys, to be able to weather the storms that may be ahead of us in some way, shape, or form, and also for the opportunities that lie ahead of us. And then squirrels are known for speed and persistence in gathering food. And God's really been wanting us to be persistent on things, be consistent. He's really been talking to us about that in the last few videos. Being persistent, being consistent. Action. God really wants that action out of us, and things of this nature. So please do whatever you've been guided to do. And so they're saying squirrels are seen as lucky symbols because they are able to gather large amounts of food, which represents the success coming from being prepared. Wow, you guys. So I'm telling you, I don't believe in coincidences, I just really don't. And then I was guided to talk about this verse today, Joshua chapter 1, verse 9, KJV. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. So there's some changes and challenges coming up ahead, and not all of them are bad, you guys. Some of them are really good opportunities. Some of them are really good changes that are going to lead to success and things of this nature in your future. And a lot of this stuff won't be happening overnight. It's going to be for some it's a process, and for some it could be a month, for some it could be a season, 3 to 4 months. For some it could be, a year or longer. But these things that God's preparing us for and having us do are for our success and opportunities, and also for us to be prepared when challenges and things arise ahead of us that may be light ahead of us. Okay, you guys? Because God's really been talking about us getting prepared lately and planning and preparing lately, And so, okay, you guys, like a lot of times when I talk to God or when I meditate on a word or I just close my eyes, things of this nature, I always see this bright, bright light, like this just bright, bright, white light. And I'll even open my eyes and see like, oh, is the sun glaring through? Did it pass through a cloud? And no. And I'll close my eyes again and it'll be a bright light. Well, this time I was closing my eyes and I saw orange. And I thought, orange, I haven't ever seen that. Okay, orange. And so I was like, orange, what does orange mean to you? And even though I do not celebrate this pagan holiday anymore, orange reminds me of Halloween. Orange reminds me of fall. What does orange remind you guys of? So to me, it was like Halloween time, around fall. And we're coming up on fall, right? Fall's like what, the end of September till the end of December, give or take, the 20th, 22nd, to 20th to the 22nd, give or take around that time. So for a lot of us, these things that are coming up for us, I feel are going to happen in fall. A lot of us, remember, we're all on different timelines. Some people will watch this video recently. Some people may watch this video in a year from now. So for some, it's going to be this fall, and for some, it will be next fall. But I'm really getting more strongly for a lot of us that it's going to be this fall, that there's going to be these changes coming in that God's really been planning and preparing us for. And so, fall is like September to the end of December, right? So like that's soon, you guys. This, for some of us, whatever it is that God's been planning and preparing you for, whether it's, marriage or meeting of your kingdom spouse or what, kingdom husband or wife, whether it's this business opportunity or, some type of opportunity that lies ahead for you, whatever it may be. A lot of you guys, please be prepared, because I feel like for a lot of us, it's going to be in the fall time, and maybe this fall, sooner than we think, And I thought I put this message out before pertaining to this particular thing I'm about to talk about, but I've been guided and confirmed to come back and speak on it. Some of you are moving, and some of you may be moving this fall, maybe moving sooner than you think, and some of you may be moving next fall, but some of you are moving. And this message comes in 3 parts, depending on who it resonates with and who it's pertaining to, okay? And it came in 3 parts. So some of you are moving. Some of you are moving out of your residency that you live in now, out of your apartment, out of your rental home, out of your home, out of whatever situation you're in now. Some of you are moving. And okay, so the second part that I got is for some of you have someone that's in your home that's moving out of your home. Like you may have a roommate that's moving out, or, a boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife that is moving out. For some, it's maybe a child who's, turning into a young adult and they're moving out, you guys. Things of this nature. And then for some of you, someone's moving in with you. Like, I don't know, for some of you may have a spouse moving in with you. Some of you may have a roommate moving in with you. But for some of you, someone's moving in with you. And this may be why God's like having us some people get organized and, to make room for these people. For this person. Let's see. What else was pertaining to that I got? Oh, and yes, some of you are sad. And, we got that verse. Yes, and some of you were sad because when I got this message, I felt like someone was really crying and sad over the situation. And I don't know if you're crying because of the change, like especially for those who have like a child who's turning into a young adult and they're moving out. It's a big change, and you may have worries or concerns about their well-being and safety when they move out, because when you're young, you think that you're invisible and the things don't happen to you. And as parents, we always worry about our kids and stuff, but like God was saying, that He's with you, and God's with your family and your children and loved ones during this time. And so, just wherever you go, and so wherever they go. And so don't be worried, just of course pray for them and keep them prayed up, but don't be worried. And for those who are very sad and crying about the change and stuff, I know it's hard, but God doesn't want us to be in this energy of being sad and unhappy and disappointed. He wants us to be strong and of good courage. And I know sometimes it's hard. Change is hard for a lot of us and for some more than others. And so just know that God's with you and your family wherever you go, okay? Just like the Bible verse said. And I know for some, even if it's just you, I know moving's hard. Oh, moving can be stressful, and God doesn't want us to be stressed or be apprehensive. God wants us to, move and give him action and trust in him. God really wants us to trust in him and just know that, it will work out, maybe not right away, for all of us, and for some, yes, sooner than later, but maybe not all. It may not work out right away, but it will be for your betterment in the future or in the long term, okay? I know change can be hard for a lot of us, and that's something that I've talked to you guys about, because again, this is in the same where the Israelites were complaining, and God wants us to be slow to anger, and because remember what Moses did and what happened to him due to it. He got to see the promised land, but he didn't get to enter the promised land because of his anger. And I know that's something that a lot of us need to work on. None of us are perfect, but do your best, please, to work on it. Please be slow to anger. And the complaining, like I know I talked to you guys in the past, and when I first started this walk, way before I even started doing the channel and everything, I used to like complain like all my life's changing and I'm not happy, and I had such a good life and I was grateful for my life and things of this matter, and I had to learn, and it's something I'm still working on, to not complain during the process. When things don't go the way we want and or think they should, or the way we plan them to go. And I understand, trust me, because I was there. These things have happened to me, and it's something I'm still working on, to change and not complain. I am grateful still in my life all the time, but there comes times where I think like sometimes like, oh, um, especially when I first started this walk, like, oh, my life was better before, and not better in the sense of the sins I was doing and things I needed to change, but maybe better in like the things that I had and things that I thought were important at the time, to me. But like over time, you'll see and learn that a lot of things aren't as important as we think, and things will get better. And this is all for your betterment in the long run, and for the longevity of your life and success, and for you to prosper, and things of this nature. So I'm not saying that what I'm trying to say is I understand, and that's something that I've really had to work on. But I was really feeling like someone was really sad, and maybe you're nervous and are scared about the change, and or maybe you're just sad about the changes, especially for some. This isn't for everyone. This is just for someone particular out there. When you may be going through a separation or divorce or a breakup of some sort, and this person may be moving out. And I know that can be sad and hard to go through, but just try to focus on the good things that you have in your life, and just try to focus on your future, because it's going to be a bright future as long as you just give God action, and you are preparing and planning like he's asking you to, and just please be obedient and keep building your relationship with God, and read your Bible, and also apply the things that you are learning from the Bible into your life, okay? So that was the message, and I know that in the long run, and for some sooner than later, you will see that these changes and challenges that you're going to go through are for your betterment, and it's only going to make you stronger, okay? And it's going to help you prevail through so many challenges that come in life. You know, life has its ups and downs, and that's just how it is. And God's giving us all strength and wisdom and wanting us to plan and prepare so that we can be ready for these challenges, for also the opportunities that lie ahead of us. And, you know, just hang in there. So I just wanted to read that verse again. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9 KJV. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. And I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, you know, me and my speech. I just really wanted to thank you all for joining me. I so greatly appreciate you guys. I love you all. Prayers and blessings to all. Bye.